Hey guys, ridiculously long hair here, and today we're going to make a video for you console peasants out there. Today we're going to be counting down 5 reasons that you, yes you, should become a PC gamer. So coming in at number 5 on this list is going to be better plus more games. So if you were unaware, PC actually has a ton more games than console, and that has to do with a lot of the fact that indie developers and anyone who really wants to make a game can put it out on the PC, they can put it out on their own website, and you can just download it and boom, you have a game. While on consoles, you have to go through plenty of processes just to get your game on the store, and it can be kind of a pain in the ass. It makes it so that a lot of these indie developers can make creative and awesome games that a lot of the PC gaming community can play. Also, we have a lot of games that are just better on PC, such as Counter-Strike and games like MOBAs such as Smite, which, in my opinion, is a lot better on PC. There's always this joke among PC gamers about having all these backlog games, and that is actually really true. Once you switch over to PC, you will start to realize how many games there are and how many that you can actually end up buying. A lot of us actually have over 100 or 200 games in our Steam library, and because it's all digitally downloaded, you keep your games. You don't really get rid of them or trade them in or lose them like you can do on console with people who buy actual physical copies of games. There are physical copies of games on PC, but not many people use them because they're really outdated and it just makes sense to download your games on Steam. But a lot of us have these crazy long backlogs just because there's so much stuff to play. Personally, I have about 15 games that I want to play right now, but finding the time is really difficult, and I guess you could say those are actually good problems to have. But yes, PC has way better games in my opinion, and they have a lot more games. So really, you're getting a lot more out of your PC than I think you would in console in terms of just games itself. Number 4 on this list might be a little bit controversial because I know a lot of people really don't like keyboard and mouse who are console gamers, but trust me, keyboard and mouse is number 4 on this list, and for very good reason. So if you're unaware, keyboard and mouse are very accurate compared to a controller. Pretty much any FPS game you play on PC, you pretty much need a mouse and keyboard. If you use a controller, you are going to get absolutely destroyed. And I know a lot of the console players complain that it's hard to get used to this and that, and when I originally switched over to PC, I had those same feelings pretty much, and after about a month or two I ended up getting used to the keyboard and mouse, and now I can say that it is so, and I mean so much better than just using a controller. It's way better for FPS games, and yes, in some situations the controller is better, but I found that for most games the keyboard and mouse is ultimately the better option. It's a lot more accurate and it just feels better overall, and it seems like you can be a lot more accurate, you can do things a lot better, and overall the keyboard and mouse is just the better option. One thing that's nice though is that you can buy multiple keyboard and mouses. There are multiple keyboard and mouse companies out there who are trying to sell their products to you. And with controllers, I know there are multiple controllers, but realistically, they all seem the same unless you're spending hundreds of dollars on like a scuff or something. But with keyboard and mouses, you can get mechanical, you can get non-mechanical, you can get the shape of your mouse to be different. Everything has slight differences and everything has its pros and cons, and that's why it's really cool to be a PC gamer. It's just that choice that you have. And keyboard and mouse, it seems like there's a ton of choices. You can get your keyboard to light up if you want, you can get your mouse to light up. Currently I'm rocking the Corsair K70 RGB and the Razer Death Adder, and I am absolutely enjoying both of those. So definitely it's really cool that you can pick what kind of keyboard and mouse you want, and it's just nice to have the options because that's what PC gaming seems to be all about. It seems to be about just choice, and that is something that I like having in my keyboard and mouse, and something that I don't really see you get with controllers. Coming in at number 3 on this list, we're of course taking it back to games, and number 3 on this list is going to be cheaper games. So this one is really undoubtable. Normally on PC you'll be able to find games cheaper, not only because Steam has a lot of sales, which is another thing we're going to get into, but you can get games on these key sites like G2A, Kingwin. You can go on GOG, which I don't believe is a key site, but it's definitely another place you can buy it. Pretty much the point is you have choice, and just like the keyboard and mouse thing with choice, it seems that, you know, you can buy games from a lot of different places, and all these places are competing to find the lowest price so that you will buy it there. It's definitely a really awesome system, and it makes it so you can get games very cheap. Currently, you can get Mafia 3 on G2A for like $10, while on console, I think it would cost you anywhere from $40 to $60. $160. You can get a lot of savings, and that's why a lot of us have these super huge Steam libraries, because there are so many games out there and a lot of them can become very cheap. There's a lot of times Steam sales happen and you'll even buy games that you know that you probably won't play just because the deal is way too good to pass up on. Also, like I said in another previous point on this video, we also get a lot of indie games which tend to be cheaper than a lot of the AAA games that seem to be on console. Console seems to be the place where if you want a lot of AAA games, that's where you're going to want to go, but a lot of indie developers will release games on Steam and GOG and a lot of other things like that, and it will make it so that you can pretty much get games for very cheap because they're made by these little indie developer studios, and you actually find a lot of hidden gems on Steam made by these indie developers that turn out to be really good. It's really cool to see that the indie developer community is really supported in Steam, and it's really cool to see that you can get a lot of cheap games, because at the end of the day, no matter how rich you are, I'm sure if you can find something cheaper, you would rather pay the cheaper price. And I think that's pretty much the case with a lot of PC gamers. A lot of PC gamers would like to pay the cheapest price for a game, and that's why we're willing to use Reddit and a lot of other sources to be able to find the place where we can buy the cheapest game. So yeah, PC games are cheaper, and it's definitely one of the main selling points for buying a PC in the first place. Number 2 on this list, and possibly the biggest one, is going to be better graphics plus performance, and this is one of the main reasons people get into PC gaming in the first place. So if you're unaware, on console, games can lag a lot. They can run on low FPS, somewhere around 30 to 45. I've been playing Battlefield 1 recently on the Xbox One, and the graphics there kind of suffer. For one, the textures can get a little bit muddy, and also the game can barely keep 60 FPS if it even gets up to that in the first place, and it's very frustrating. Once you play on PC and realize what games look like in 60 FPS on a 144Hz monitor, or possibly even over 100 FPS, then you will realize that console gaming is just inferior in that way. Once you go back to playing console, you'll realize that your games look a little bit sluggish, and I know this is hard to realize if you've never played in 60 FPS or have never played in anything over 100 FPS. You probably won't realize it since you've been on console all your life, but trust me, go down to, I don't know, like an online cafe or something and load up a PC game, and you will realize that the difference there is actually pretty big. And once you go back to consoles, it can be very frustrating because it will feel like everything is super sluggish, and it will feel like you're lagging while your console is just kind of chugging along. People all the time like to say that you have to spend $2,000 on a PC to get pretty decent performance, but there are plenty of YouTube builds out there that go into it for $500 or $600 where you can get pretty solid performance on most games that are coming out. Of course, you're not going to be running everything at ultra super high with over 100 FPS, but you're probably going to get medium settings at least 30 to 60 FPS, which is, in my opinion, pretty solid for the price you're paying. I think a lot of people have to keep in mind that when you're buying a PC, you're also buying like a desktop computer. So a lot of people will go out there, they'll buy like a laptop or something for like $200 or $300, and then they'll buy like a $400 Xbox One, and in total that's around $600 or $700. But for that price, you could get a PC that is way more powerful than a console, and also get that desktop computer that you wanted in the first place. It's just a better bang for your buck, and in general, you're going to get better graphics and performance, which makes the games a lot better. In my opinion, I know some people out there say graphics don't make everything, and they have a point to some extent, but let's be honest here, guys. Better graphics and better performance on a game definitely makes it better than a version of the game with worse graphics and worse performance. Any non-idiot can pretty much tell you that. Number 1 on this list is going to be the big one for me, and it's going to be customizability, and that's probably not the way you pronounce that fucking word, but whatever, it will be up on the screen. So on PC, it seems like you can customize a lot of the things that you're doing. You can customize the way your build is made, you can customize the way it looks, you can customize the way it performs. Also, you can customize everything down to the keyboard and mouse. Also, you can customize your desktop background, you can customize the way Steam looks, you can customize a bunch of things, and that's the point of PC gaming. The choice is pretty much all in your hands. It seems like when I buy a console, everything is pretty much laid out there for you. There's not really much you can change, and everything is just like everyone else's. When I go over to some of my friends' house and they have these crazy PC builds, it's really interesting to see how different their PC looks than mine, and to see how much difference in performance they get than mine. At the end of the day, PC is all about customizability, and once again, that's probably not the way you say the word. It's 9 in the morning, cut me some slack, but it comes down to, you know, being able to buy cheaper games at places. It comes down to being able to choose your keyboard and mouse, and this pretty much sums up all these points in one little point. It's just being able to pick and choose what you want, and not having a lot of bullshit or a lot of fluff in there. You just kind of get to pick what you want, and I like having choice. But yeah, those are going to be my 5 reasons to be a PC gamer. I'm sure I missed a lot of things on this list because we only had 5 slots. I'm sure a lot of you guys will feel free to tell me down in the comments down below more reasons that you should be a PC gamer, because I'm sure a lot of you guys who watch my videos play PC, because this channel is literally mostly about PC gaming and mostly about Counter-Strike. So I'm sure a lot of you will have a ton of reasons to tell me in the comments down below, or you're a console player and you're going to tell me how wrong I am. Either way, feel free to leave a comment down in the comments down below. And if you like this video, how about you hit that like button? And if you dislike this video for some odd reason, how about you hit that dislike button? And if you are new, how about you subscribe? But yeah, guys, this has been the Chosen One Inc. Thank you guys for watching this video. It was uploaded on Christmas Eve. Hope you guys have a good Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever. We're all about being PC here. Isn't that right, you bunch of fucking retards? But this has been the Chosen One Inc. And as always, peace out.